Good morning, everyone. We are going to try to be on schedule, and we're already late. So I can't see you, but I can feel you in the room, and I'm delighted. I'm delighted to be here this morning. My name is Leeza Ahmady, Director of Asia Contemporary Art Week. And standing at the wonderful Asia Society Museum, it's a pleasure, because this is where many years ago I challenged Vishaka Desai in an interview and asked her, how could Asia Society be Asia Society when half the continent of Asia is missing from its programming? And she lovingly looked at me, saying, when she started out, no one wanted to look at South Asia and think about contemporary art. Most people were thinking of antiquities and traditional work. So you have a long road to travel if that's what you want, if you have a continental dream. And out of that conversation, a few months later, I was invited to run and take on Asia Contemporary Art Week. That was in 2005. I'm still here. Asia Society is one of the founding members of Asia Contemporary Art Consortium, and Asia Contemporary Art Week was a vehicle, a vision for multiple other curators, museum directors, and gallery owners who wanted to create a collective voice to make a dent in the New York art scene, but also to actually make a difference throughout the United States and the visibility of contemporary art from Asia. But not only visibility of it, but understanding, critical understanding of what was coming out of Asia at that time. So enough reminiscing, I'm gonna go into my 4 a.m. Notes from last night. I would like to take a moment just now to remember a wonderful, powerful spirit among us, Holly Block, who recently decided to journey to another plane, or in common terms, passed away. But she is not away. Her contribution to the artist communities she supported and championed for art in general, and in recent years, the Bronx Museum lives and is active inside of all those she connected with. So I prefer to use the word journey on another plane rather than passed away. The journey of ideas, as Rashid Areen, the great artist and philosopher, has wisely shared, is a fluid journey, and those of us who have been bestowed with sharp creative imagination also carry within us a special fire. And it is this fire, the internal fire within each of us here today as artists and creative individuals, that we have come to address, to celebrate, to question, and to deliberate on. By now, this being the 5th iteration of this annual gathering, many of you are familiar about its purpose and mission. And I really do hope you've done your homework and read that 6-page text that I wrote, which was very painful, by the way, to do so. So I'm not going to go over what the program will be unveiling, because hopefully you've read it or you will encounter it along the way. Simply put, and very straightforward, we're here to examine what kind of fire burns in each of us. What are their qualities, and if we are doing all we can to help ourselves and those we are inspired by to continue to have their fires burning brightly, to shine light on the dark corridors of this world we live in. Last year, I shared with you how standing in front of a Giotto painting at the Uffizi the experience of encountering the fire that was burning inside of that great artist, captivated inside a new, now over 700 years old portrait, and how in that moment, a very deep part of me realized I was in the presence of energy. And that energy is eternal, and it is fluid, and it travels freely. And I decided in that moment that this was the path for me. As a 20-year-old, of course, I had no idea really what I had stumbled upon, a glimpse of light that has been passed on and actually is inside all of us. But what the journey on the path of creativity has taught me over the years is that it is very easy to lose sight of the fire inside, to misinterpret this fire, which has its own journey, as something we can possess, as something we can control and direct for mere personal gratification or the massaging of egos, our own and those of others. Worse yet, to engage with this special fire blindly for sheer profit. So my dear colleagues, what I'm trying to say is that we are here to remember, to recommit to why we are on this journey and how we can travel on our paths with more clarity, more trust, more determination, honesty, love, integrity, harmony, joy, fulfillment, support, love, I wrote it twice, solidarity, peacefulness, and I want to add humility. And of course, more brilliance in the world. So together with our efforts, with our practices, with our projects, with our energy, we can combat stupidity, hatred, prejudice, egoism, violence, discrimination, sexism, narcissism, depression, aggression, and all other negative states of being. I have never believed in the story we were sold in the 20th century, that old telltale of art for art's sake. That is as senseless as saying shoes for shoes' sake. Art is part of life. Living life consciously is artful. Because art is not an object, it is not a corporation, it is not an institution. Art is an energetic journey of ideas, profound and made of the fabric of the stars and the universe. And it chooses us as containers, as vehicles for an expression that does not belong to one, but to all. And when I speak of all, I am not speaking of humans only, but life in its totality. So let us today welcome the spirits of so many beautiful creative beings that have literally journeyed from very, very far off destinations to be with us, to share with us their internal fires, their insights, their inquiries, their discoveries, their problems, in the form of many, many very brilliant variety of projects that are part of their everyday living, breathing, thinking, making, persevering process of creating meaning and significance in the world. Let us be awake and feast on the energy of their efforts while actively contributing to them through our presence, our full, undivided attention and support. In doing so, not only we are going to energize ourselves and cement the value of our work in ourselves, but we're also going to contribute positive, happy, loving energy towards our planet. Because we are creative beings, and just like we can and have unfortunately contributed to the deterioration of the planet, we can shift and contribute towards its restoration maintenance, and future destiny. I want to thank the Asia Society, Bun Hui, Michelle Yoon, Kelly Ma, Nick, and all the tech staff. During breaks, please go up and see the brilliant exhibition they have up, the title of which is very suitable for what I was talking about, After Darkness, Southeast Asian Art, right? Thanks to all of our consortium partners, gallery directors, museum professionals for supporting some of the presenters' trips to New York. Thanks to my very small but very committed attending team of interns, ACW platform manager and curatorial assistant Sonia, who is going to be running the show. A few housekeeping rules. After every 4 presentation, there's going to be a discussion. Please try not to leave when someone is speaking. Try to leave or enter the room when there's a moment of transition. Please help us to be regular with our timing. We're already running late. We're hoping to make it up. Please use ACAW hashtag and field meeting hashtags for social media, but please do so outside the auditorium, not during the presentations. There's so much more to say, but before the music cuts me off, I welcome the next presenter on stage. Thank you.